This is Carl Johnson of CJ Behavior Coaching and Consulting, and welcome back to our podcast. And today we're going to talk about parenting and co-parenting. And specifically, we're going to talk about what it means to be on the same page and how difficult that can be in every household, and what being on the same page is referring to and what it's not referring to. So one of the things that comes up quite often when I'm talking to parents is, are you saying that we all have to say exactly the same thing at exactly the same time and all the time? And the answer is no. When I mean you should be on the same page, what I'm talking about is working towards the same goal. Now, mom and dad are different. Their names are even different. One's name is mom and one's name is dad. So you're going to have different personalities and probably different ways of doing things. But when you're working towards the same goal, that's how you can get on the same page. Now, the difference would be rules. If we're talking about rules and mom says bedtime is at 8 o'clock and dad says bedtime is at 7:30, that's not being on the same page. That's having a different set of rules for the same child, and therein lies where the conflict comes. But if we're talking about improving something for your child, improving the connection with your child, the way mom connects with the child and the way dad connects with the child may be very different, but it's still building the same connection. It's still working towards the same goal that you want to work towards. So when we talk about being on the same page, that's what we're talking about, working towards the same goal, and at times maybe saying the same things in certain situations. But when it comes to rules, being on the same page means we're following the same rules. That can't be different, because if the rules are very different, the rules can feel very different for a child when they're allowed to do one thing with one parent and not another thing with another parent. Or if you're co-parenting and you live in different houses, that also is that's a challenge for both parents, because one parent is probably going to come out, to be the quote unquote, bad guy in the situation based on what's allowed in one home and what's not allowed in another home. But the way you can get on the same page and be a little more consistent would be having good communication with the other parent, with the co-parent. Mom and dad, talking a little bit more, foster parents talking a little bit more, and trying to come to an agreement even about the rules, even something as snack time. Well, after dinner, how much ice cream should the child have, or how many cookies, or how long should they be allowed to play on video games, or what time should be bedtime? Those things should be something that both parents communicate together and talk about and try to come up with something that a compromise for both parents, that when you present that to your child, you're presenting a unified front, and you're saying, hey, we're in this together. We're doing this to what's best interest of you and the family, and we want to be consistent and on the same page. It's unrealistic to think that every single parent is going to say every single thing exactly the same, and that's not what being on the same page means to me. So whenever I'm working with parents, foster parents, and also other caregivers, I'm saying being on the same page is just we're working towards the same goal. The goals, we can get to the same goal probably in a different way, but the only difference is when you're talking about rules. Rules have to stay the same. They have to be consistent, or you're going to have lots of problems in your home. A child will feel like they've been treated unfairly. One parent has given more than the other, or one parent has given less than the other, and that's where you find a problem. It will make it harder on one parent who is saying you can have 30 minutes of video game time, and another parent saying you can have an hour of video game time. Well, the parent who's giving more of the fun stuff is going to be the fun parent. The parent who's giving less may come off to the child as, maybe not being as fun, or maybe even being mean, because they're allowed to do more at the other home. So again, being on the same page means what? It means working towards the same goal. You may get to the same goal, maybe in a different way, but the best part the best way to get on the same page with another parent is to have communication and realize that you are working towards what's best for the child. It is not a competition. It is working to see what is best for the child and for your family. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast today. If you have any other questions, you can give us a call at 480-740-4976, or you can email us at cjempowersparents@gmail.com. Thank you again.